Hey everybody, this is Tim Siebold coming to you live from the Moto Marketing World Headquarters in St. Louis, Missouri. We want to talk to you for a minute about the second annual Springfield F1 Grand Prix held at the Clark County Fairgrounds on August 10th through 12th in 2018. This is the fifth stop on the NGK Sparkplug's Formula One Powerboat Championship, featuring the premier Formula One boats supported by the Formula Lights and the J Hydros, with special guest categories of the stock and mod hydros, along with the vintage outboards of yesterday. All the Wake the Lake 2 action brought to you by Caldwell Banker, Miller Lite, the City of Springfield, and the Clark County Fairgrounds, with a special thanks to Dean Blair, Chris Fairchild, and Dana Potts for making all of this event happen at the Clark County Fairgrounds in Springfield, Ohio. We had a large contingent of racing dignitaries, past drivers, crew members, and owners. Just to name a few, we had hometown Bill Chatfield, Bob Thompson, owner of the Just Add Water team for years, my father Bill Siebold, Brandon Stevenson, whose father raced for Bob Thompson, Ben Robertson, Rusty Campbell, Don Johnson, Mike Downard, Jim Boo, Dana Belk, Al Stoker, Rourke Summerford, Dee Bergauer, Jim Nurstum, and Rick Hoffman, just to name a few. If I left anybody out, I apologize. This year's event, we are greeted with the natural shoreline of the lake at Champions Park. Perfect racing conditions. With 22 Formula One entries comprised of veteran drivers mixing in 6 rookie drivers, our newest rookie, Austin Cheatham, in his very first F1 ride. Series points leader Ashton Rinker's number 20, fresh off its win in Pittsburgh, was on a roll, looking to be our first two-feature winner of the 2018 season. But not without challenges from a slew of competitors in a stacked field. Up to this point, we have had 4 different winners in 4 races this season. Tracy Hawkins taking it in Port Neches, Spencer Love winning the rough conditions in Gulfport, and Mark Proffitt winning the hometown race in Nashville, Tennessee. Friday's testing gave our drivers the first look at the only course we compete on with a right-hander, not to mention a 46-second long lap time. When Saturday's qualifying rolled around, it was Mark Proffitt's Bill Chatfield prepared Arcadian entry setting the pole, followed by Ashton Rinker, Chris Fairchild, Tracy Hawkins, Dustin Terry, and Rusty Wyatt. The heat race action was split into 2 categories, A and B, depending on where you qualified. In the A group, we saw Mark Proffitt take the first heat win, followed by Fairchild, Dustin Terry, Wesley Cheatham, and then Austin Cheatham getting into the top 5. Group A Heat 2 saw Mark Proffitt's Optimax come from the back of the field, followed by fast-starting Dustin Terry, Austin Cheatham making it up into 3rd place, followed by Chris Fairchild and Fred Durr rounding out the top 5. When we went to Heat 3 of Group A, fast-starting Dustin Terry got it done finally, followed by Mark Proffitt again getting his Optimax back up to the front, Wesley Cheatham, Chris Fairchild, and then Austin Cheatham. Group B Heat 1 saw our points leader, number 20, Ashton Rinker, followed by Rusty Wyatt, Spencer Love, Tracy Hawkins, and a struggling Greg Foster. Group B Heat 2 saw our second in the points standings, Tracy Hawkins win, followed by a consistent Rusty Wyatt, Spencer Love, Johnny Fleming getting into the top 5, and rookie Travis Yates. In Group B Heat 3, Greg Foster got his problems fixed and ended up winning it, followed by Ashton Rinker, Tracy Hawkins, Rusty Wyatt, and another rookie, John Eddy. After 6 heat races, the final starting position is in place. Mark Proffitt on the pole, followed by Tracy Hawkins, Dustin Terry, Rusty Wyatt, Ashton Rinker, Chris Fairchild, Wesley Cheatham, Greg Foster in 8th, Austin Cheatham, and Johnny Fleming rounding out the top 10. In the final, we saw a fantastic race with racing all up and down the order, no matter if it was for 1st place, for 10th place, or for 18th place. We had battles all over the place. Great racing, put on a heck of a show for the fans, all the tailgaters, which are lined all up and down the shoreline of the Springfield event. Quick starter Dustin Terry jumped to the lead, followed by Mark Profit and Ashton Rinker making his way up to the top 3 from the 5th starting position. Mark Profit found his way around Dustin Terry, so did Ashton Rinker, and Greg Foster moving himself up into 3rd position after starting from the 8th spot. John Eddy's woes continued as his boat broke down going into turn number 2. That brought out the red flag and a restart. If you're Mark Profit and you've got the lead, you're crying when you go back to the beach because you don't know if that thing's going to come off the dock or not. Once again, it was quick starter Dustin Terry who jumped the field off the start, getting the smooth water, being able to go where he wants to go, pick his own lines, and it made a difference. He was out front with Ashton Rinker close on his hips, Greg Foster, Tracy Hawkins, and Rusty Wyatt all vying for position. Mark Profit got shuffled back and was fighting with Tracy Hawkins for a while and eventually had to pull off the course. We had great racing all the way down to the checkered flag. The top 3 boats of Dustin Terry, Ashton Rinker, and Greg Foster all within the same camera frame at the finish. Foster actually made a pass on Rinker going through the right-hander 2 laps before the end, got it sideways, Rinker gets back by. But when it was all said and done and the checkered flag flew, Dustin Terry got his first win of the season, followed by Ashton Rinker and Greg Foster rounding out the podium. But we had our 2nd overall in points, Tracy Hawkins coming in 4th, Canadian Rusty Wyatt getting a 5th place, and Wesley Cheatham rounding out the top 6. After the checkered flag had flown, at the conclusion of the event, our series points leader, number 20, Lickety Splits, Ashton Rinker, extended his points lead over racing Tracy Hawkins by 137.5 points. Greg Foster moved up to 3rd overall and is only 88 points behind Hawkins in 2nd place, with Wesley Cheatham in 4th, a mere 19 points behind Foster. This has been a fantastic season for the Formula One guys. We have had 5 different winners in 5 events. It just shows the parity that we've got going on and how good the racing is. The Formula Lights competition was fast and furious at the Springfield, Ohio's Clark County Fairgrounds. Our drivers got a taste of the right-hand corner on their course as well. Battling up and down the order all weekend long, our series points leader, number 8, Jeremiah Mayo, looked to increase his lead over last weekend's winner, Austin Cheatham, who is riding high after his maiden win. What about the battle between the rookie duo of Kelly Ireland and Grant Schubert, separated by a scant 14.5 points? Heat 1 saw Jeremiah Mayo edge out Steve Merleau and Austin Cheatham. Heat 2 saw Dan Trozen edge out Steve Merleau again and Jeremiah Mayo. In Heat 3, it was fast-starting Steve Merleau over Jeremiah Mayo and rookie Grant Schubert getting up there in 3rd. Setting us up for a showdown between the pole sitter, Steve Merleau, who had been consistent all weekend long, and Jeremiah Mayo's number 8. After a restart due to a loose buoy, quick starter Steve Merleau got the job done, holding off a hard-charging Jeremiah Mayo with Austin Cheatham rounding out the podium. And it was Grant Schubert, our top finishing rookie, in 4th place. The top 5 overall standings stayed the same except for Grant Schubert swapping positions with Kelly Ireland. So we've got Jeremiah Mayo leading the points, followed by Austin Cheatham, Grant Schubert, Kelly Ireland, and Steve Merleau making another big leap in the point standing to 5th place. The J Hydro kids got to mix it up on a fantastic course with new competition. The Northern region with their sprint boats versus the Southern region boys in the rough water setups. Series points leader Jack Schubert came into the weekend on a roll, winning the last 2 events, Port Neches and Nashville. Heat 1 winner Alden Merrill, followed by Jack Schubert and Colby Crook. Heat 2 saw Trenton Schlarb edge out Colby Crook and Alden Merrill. Heat 3, it was Alden Merrill winning again over Trenton Schlarb and Colby Crook. The final was a mirror image of the 3rd heat, with Alden Merrill getting the top spot on the podium, followed by Trenton Schlarb and Colby Crook rounding out the top 3. As we put a close to the Springfield event, we can't thank everybody enough for number 1 coming and supporting the NGK Sparkplugs F1 Powerboat Series. But this is a hot spot for racing. It is a perfect place to come and race. If you haven't been there, if you haven't seen it, go and watch it on our Facebook page, the live streaming, or you can catch it on CBS Sports Network or Motor Trends On Demand. I'm Tim Siebold for the NGK Powerboat Series, saying so long, and we'll see you in Orange, Texas.